Welcome everybody to Meet the Polymaker. I am your host, Joel, and welcome in for yet another episode of this week to week show. This is episode 51. We're one episode away from making it 52 consecutive weeks of not missing a show. How many out there have not missed a show? How many were here from the beginning and has suffered through watching my face 52 times in a row? Whether it be 1 minute or the full hour or the hour and a half when I go on rambling sprees. How many have been here that long? I appreciate everyone that is here currently, whether you've been here for 1 day, 1 week, or 1 year. We're almost there. We're going to continue going as long as we can and keep this train moving. So if you are newer here, right down below, you see that it says I am awesome. Make sure to type that into the chat. That is going to enter you for a chance to win a spool of filament at the end of the show. And I want to make sure, because I minimized some stuff. Okay, cool. It's working, so keep doing it. I am awesome in the chat, and that'll get you entered in. Yeah, Joel twice in 1 week. I know Tuesday was a little bit of a surprise stream. Something probably going to continue every week as much as my schedule will allow it. We have some events coming up, so that's going to kind of throw a stick in things, but we'll keep it going. So just if those that weren't tuned in on Tuesday, it's more just a community focus to where I can interact with you guys a lot more. On this show, I don't watch the chat as often because I have the news, I have our maker. I don't want to take away from actually interviewing and talking to the maker. So that one's more interactive. Try to give you guys maybe some info, some updated news, some things coming out or what to expect. And also get your input on things, whether it be booth events or interactivities, all sorts of things. So tune in. That's going to be 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. So feel free to stop by, give your input, or just hang out and chat. It's more of a laid back, relaxed, no fancy green screens and graphics. But it's just a chance for me to talk to you guys more one-on-one. But with that said, this show is about 3D printing news. We like to show off community prints from our Discord at discord.polymaker.com. And ultimately, we like to meet a new maker every single week. And this week is no different. We've got another maker. A lot of you probably know this person. So we'll get into the news real quick so we can get into meeting this next maker. First up, if you aren't living under a rock, you already know. If you're living under a rock, you probably already know too. Elegoo has finally, we've known about the Centauri Carbon, which is their first Core XY printer. But now we know more details. Mainly the one thing we've all been waiting for is the price. So this, first off, for those that don't know, it's pretty much a P1S clone. It's 256 cubed. It's 500 speed, 500 millimeters per second speed, 20,000 Excel, auto calibration, prints out of the box. So it's Elegoo's version of that. The thing is about it is it comes in at $299, which is insane for that size of a printer, as long as the quality is there. Now, mind you, again, at $299, you got to expect there's going to be probably certain things that are taken back, maybe cheaper materials here and there compared to, say, a Bamboo Lab. But most reviews have said it's been a pretty good printer. As long as that continues, that's a heck of a market price to come in at. And also, they didn't do really much of announcement on their website. They do have also the Elegoo Centauri, the non-carbon, which is basically a P1P, no enclosure, for $199. Again, same full calibration, 256 cubed, all the same speeds. Looks to be pretty much the same hardware minus the enclosure. So, I mean, most of them, I think some people in the very first wave are getting them shipped already. Some people have received them. Right now, the carbon, I think now if you order on the site, they're saying before June 30th is you'll receive it, or it will ship before the June 30th on the carbon. And then on the Centauri, if you order right now or pre-order it, it's going to ship between May 15th and July 15th. So if it's something you're interested in, right now there is no multicolor, but they did confirm there will be multicolor, AMS, whatever you want to call it, whatever they may label it, later this year. So we'll stay tuned. We'll see as people get them more of how well they are, how reliable they are, and get more input, and then make your decision from there. And then we're going to talk about, a boat, 3-hour tour. Does anybody get the reference? I'm so old that probably most people won't. But 3D printed hour tour, it's better if you sing it, but come on, Gilligan's Island. Anyway, it's a collab between V2 Group and Caracal AM, which both of those we've talked about before in the nautical 3D printing world. So they've actually got together, they've developed a functional 6-meter long monolithic catamaran, which you see in this picture. And it's produced using robotic 3D printing tech. So that's going to allow for larger formats. So both companies are known for larger format printing, mainly the V2 group on the nautical applications. Caracal is more on the technology side, but merging together, they want to just demonstrate the feasibility of robotic large format printing. And of course, with V2 group's nautical background, a boat is going to make the most sense. But they are also utilizing it to help them tackle the current challenges in manufacturing of nautical equipment, and of course, boats overall. So there's certain things that are a little bit more difficult, time constraint, where 3D printing is going to allow, number one, obviously, as we always say, customization, on the fly prototyping, just a lot quicker production of testing things out and then getting that final product out there in the water to make sure she floats and she goes and she doesn't sink like the Titanic. Too soon? Next up, this is a world-changing headline. This should have been the top headline I should have started with, but a team at LSU have created 3D printed Mardi Gras beads that are biodegradable. The world doesn't get much better than that. This is right there, almost tied at the top with world peace, in my opinion. But if you didn't know, beads for Mardi Gras were actually a general symbol of status symbol originally. Of course, now they've got different meanings these days, which we won't go into because this is family friendly. But the colors I never knew, purple, green, and gold, are used for Mardi Gras. Purple represents justice, green, faith, gold, power. And then people in the beginning were, urged to seek the beads that reflect those values and collect them and then show their status by wearing them. But these ones, while they can be colored, they are 3D printed and they contain embedded seeds for planting. So they have plans to actually release the blueprints to open source. So all the formulas and everything else could be out there for everybody else. Material wise, not a lot of details yet, but they have 2 types of materials. One is based on corn, so probably like a PLA variant, but with being biodegradable, it's probably a different formula there for sure. But also a compound that's produced by bacteria. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you harvest it, but they actually have been testing it on multiple printers. So your Bamboo Lab printers and Creality printers. So you'll be able to print these if you wish to do so once they release that information. So if you're interested, it's coming up. Maybe they'll release it in time. And next up, why did I switch? I was waiting for a switch. There we go. So we got a 3D printed camera. This is called the Pioneer camera. It is created by Mark Hiltz. And he actually was working on, I think, 1 to 2 years ago, doing different iterations and things like that. But making it a fully functioning custom 3D printed camera with 3D printed shutter. Of course, there are still some hardware parts that have to be sourced. It's not all plastic, but it uses no parts from other cameras. It just uses, source parts like the lenses, electronics, and not even electronics, sorry, shutter is 3D printed, but I think springs and the lenses. But this is a film camera, so it's not digital. It's going to give you kind of a little bit of old feel. He's got some photos. If you search the tag at Pioneer_camera, it's shown, people are sharing their pictures, what they're doing, their cameras they're producing themselves. But it encourages people to experiment with it as it's got a Creative Commons license. So he's going to be, actually already has shared the parts list, the build guide, and STLs. I've just searched Mark Hills if you're interested in doing so. So if some of you photography buffs, maybe something fun to do and get kind of a vintage looking picture out of it. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Thingiverse. I know, I see somebody in there with a layer by layer Thingiverse. So Thingiverse has now added AI labels to shared models on their website and letting users filter out AI created designs. I've learned with Polymaker and helping with the socials and things like that, a lot of people do not like AI. Whether it's a simple graphic, it's a fun thing to play with. So I would imagine some of that's kind of went into this decision. It allows creators to now have the option to properly label their models. And you can also report models if you feel that it's AI generated. Let's not go crazy with that, but it's allowing them to then, you can filter it out. That way, if you don't want AI designs, you want real stuff that people are creating with their hands and mouse and computer and everything the AI uses without the AI's intelligence. You can filter that out now. Will we see this in more repositories? Most likely. I haven't seen anything yet, but it's going to be something there because some people, like I said, don't like AI or for various reasons don't want to use it or don't trust it, etc. So that is now a thing with Thingiverse, and maybe soon to be elsewhere. But that is it for the news. We're going to move to our print highlights. And these are all shared on our discord.polymaker.com on our Show Off Prints channel. You're free to share anything, the good, the bad, the ugly. But these all prints today are awesome. This is a print by Druid. It is a design by the Kit Kiln, available on Things, and it's called the Glamdring prop, which Glamdring sword, I think is probably what it is. But it looks awesome. This is a weird picture that I had to make, move over a little bit different, but hopefully you guys can see it pretty good. But just a nice design. And from what I understand, the Kit Kiln is going to start working on props too. Of course, he's got his chunkies. Many of you probably downloaded those, all the characters that are like chubby Legos, and they're great. So he's also looking to get into props. Next up, we have a print by Agent Michael Scarn. This is designed by Enzomatic 3D, available in Cults 3D. The knitted baby dog bowl. And the knitted stuff I absolutely love, because the knitted stuff, if you've not printed anything like this, hides layer lines like no other. You don't have to have a fancy filament or fancy color. It hides the lines well, just the design itself, and they just look really cool. If you some of the multicolor ones and you're using the right matte colors, they legitly look knitted. So just an awesome print. And I wasn't sure why they didn't call it a puppy bowl rather than a baby dog bowl, but I'm not here to critique. Next up, we have a print by Scarecrow. And this is a design by Alex T, available over on Printables. It is the Batwing over Gotham City, and I didn't add it because it was too long. Just a really cool thing. So this is printed no supports also. And so you got the stand, you got the Batwing, and you got the cityscape. Is a really cool design. I like the way it looks. If you're a Batman fan, it's an easy print to do. If you're not a Batman fan, it's still a cool print to do and maybe give as a gift. Next up, we got Nervous Pajamas has printed the Lego Technics styled stand, laptop stand, actually, by Filament Forge, available in Printables. And if you guys have ever messed with the Lego Technics, I'm wondering if you can build a lot. I'm sure it's super versatile and super modular, since it has the pieces that move. It can click and move and snap into place. But he's got it as a Lego or laptop stand. Very useful. I'm sure you could use it for a lot more, between tablet stands, probably make a tiny one for a cell phone stand. So just another cool print, and functional prints are always awesome. And last but not least, we have somebody you may know, Pez Liz. She may be in the chat, she may not be, but she always does the colorful stuff. The color swap queen, and does the end printing colors every Wednesday. And for obvious reasons, she has colorful stuff. This is the Woven Whopper by James the Printer, and the Owl is by Build Overbot. So both models I think are available on Maker World, and just a good use of showing how the gradients work for the rainbows. And beautiful print. I think Celestial on the Owl. So just altogether great. You combine the two and you got two awesome prints in one. So I cheated. I got 2 in 1 on this one. So thanks for everybody that shared their prints this week and last week, and so on and so forth. Continue sharing them. I love seeing them. Gives me something to pull from. And you guys are doing so much better on putting the links with everything. Thank you so much for putting the model links and giving credit where credit is due for the modeler, and giving those that want to print what you're showing off a place to go download it and not have to figure out what is this called, where is it at, where can I download it. So always share that information. So thank you all for your sharing. But we're going to take a commercial break, and right after that, we're going to be back here to meet our 51st contestant on the Price is Right. Oh wait, no, Maker on the Meet the Polymaker. There we go. We'll see you guys right after these commercial breaks.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah, Polly Smooth Criminal, All That She Wants Is Another Printer, Print Away,
There you go, print away.
Still the TD1, All About That Bag, No Stabbies, and Polyman.
So file tonight, We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to Polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go! Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now!
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external conditions. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Have you had bad customer service with your filament provider? Have you ever gotten a bad spool and never got a response when you emailed the company? Well, that won't ever happen when you reach out to Polymaker. Some people say that no company cares about you. Wrong. 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 If you never got a response after emailing a company that you've worked with in the past, you may be entitled to better customer service. We at Polymaker pride ourselves on good customer service, and we won't ever keep you waiting for a response. Email us now at support@polymaker.com and we'll get back to you within 1 business day. We'll fight for you.
Welcome back, everybody. Those commercials are getting stale. I've seen somebody say it in chat. I need to mix them around still, but we're always accepting new commercials. If you have a fun new idea that just showcases Polymaker in some way, it doesn't have to be high production. Just, make it fun. Have fun with it. There's rules on the commercial channel in our Discord, or you can always message me if you have any questions. If you see me in hanging out, hop in there, ask some questions. If you want to toss some ideas or show some proof of concepts, I'll be more than happy to help you along. But we're always accepting those. And if we use your commercial in the show, you're $100 in filament. So, or product really, since we have the poly dryer now has been popular. So with that said, we're here to meet the next maker. And this is episode 51. And I think technically it's guest 53 because we had some double guests and triple guests. But this one doesn't really need an introduction because most of you know, and he's more popular than I am. So let's welcome in Zombie Hedgehog or Austin. Welcome in, Austin.
Hello, how's everyone doing tonight? Or
doing fantastic.
Morning or evening?
Yeah, I guess where are you watching from?
Global audience.
Called it. Tech Jeeper, call you. $100 in merch went. Oh, called it. Okay, we're not even gonna get into that. We're here to talk about Zombie.
Yeah, when's the merch coming?
When's the merch coming? It is. It's actually. I was wearing some the other day. Actually, I was wearing some on my stream on Tuesday. But
awesome.
it's supplier issue, we'll call it. But with that said, we'll push that aside. welcome in, Austin. Can you tell those that for some reason might not know who you are and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and I do a lot of things, mainly stream 3D printing content over on Twitch, and then I occasionally post some videos over to YouTube, so I have some stuff over there. But I mainly focus on 3D printing education and custom printers, and kind of more on the technical side of things, but also I try to explain things in a way that makes sense for everyone. So whether you're a beginner or experienced, you can always enjoy the live streams and content.
Yeah, you can still follow along with you and actually have an idea of what you're actually doing.
That's the goal.
So now let's go back to the beginning. What actually got you started into or interested into 3D printing?
Well, one day randomly, I was browsing on my favorite, 3D printer store, Target.com, and
everybody knows Target for 3D printers, of course.
Right, exactly. I was just browsing and I saw they had Ender 3 V2s on clearance. I knew nothing about 3D printers. I've heard about them, obviously, but I didn't really know anything about them. So for the clearance price, I was able to just buy one. And then after I bought it, I went onto YouTube and started searching, okay, what is this printer? What can I do with 3D printers? I knew nothing, absolutely nothing. I binge watched content for weeks. And I actually found Zach Friedman, Void Star Labs, and I watched a lot of his content, joined on his Discord channel, and the 3D printing community there was able to get me up and running pretty fast and help me decide on upgrades and, go forth.
There you go. So now, of course, you started within the Ender 3 V3. Did you have
V2?
Or V2? Sorry, yeah, V3 is way ahead. But did you have a lot of issues with it, or since you watched enough, you kind of understood it better?
Okay, here's the thing. The printer worked fine. It was great. It was honestly great, but I was printing at, 30 to 40 millimeters a second, very slow. And
Patient.
I even printed at very low layer heights. I would only print at 0.12 for whatever reason, and all my prints looked amazing. I recently went back and found a couple of very, very old prints, and they looked great. It turns out printing slow at very fine layer heights on an old printer just works.
Yeah, that's, I think people we're so used to the high speed stuff is they don't realize even with the high speed stuff, you can get better quality just by slowing it down. Just be a little more patient.
Absolutely.
So then from there is, of course, you had the Ender. Did you slowly progress into, of course, one of your main things now is you do like the custom printers, everything else. Did you slowly, progress into that, or was it kind of, hey, I had enough fun with this, I want to build my own?
So I slowly started to upgrade it, starting with some 3D printing upgrades. I remember having the spool, the filament guide that kind of guided it into the bone extruder a little bit easier.
Yeah, loops around. Yeah.
But then I started getting into stuff like the Micro Swiss, that metal backplate, the Micro Swiss direct drive upgrade, and then I got a PEI bed, and then eventually I upgraded to the actually that was a long time later, but the Kevin aka Sam dual belted Z. So I used that printer as a a test bed for modding. But my first really custom printer was the BQ BX. I got that off of eBay. I got a lot of printers off of eBay, and I decided to completely overhaul that, upgrade it, and turn that into a kind of a crazy machine.
Now, do any of those original ones, do you still have them, or have they all gone to the wayside somewhere?
I still have them. In fact, I have the Ender still here. I don't know why, but sometimes it's cool to see kind of where it came from. Grab that. Here's the original V2, and it has seen some better days, but
she looks beautiful.
Yeah, I took apart most of the things. I was in the process of swapping out the tool head on it. I have a brand new bed on it, and I was going to make this into like a historical machine, kind of restore it, restore mod.
See, a lot of us, have that sentimental value. It's just, it's whether we use it or not. Like I still have my OG Ender 3, and it's, I don't use it anymore, obviously, but it does print well. When it was still in my workshop, it still printed great. It's just now, like, why am I going to use that if I have all the other stuff?
Right, exactly. And that's the hard thing is having the fleet of bamboos and other printers that just work. it's very difficult to, go back and use those printers. Even newer printers, bed slingers that are just a little bit slower or slightly harder to load. I don't see myself using them much anymore.
Yeah, just we're now so spoiled of just being able to easily load, easily send the print to it. We don't have to adjust the bed knobs, get the piece of paper under there.
Right.
Some of the people were like, what are they talking about, paper and 3D printers? But
I know.
Yeah, no, it happened. It really did. There was a time not too long ago, really.
That's the funny thing, because I've only been 3D printing for I'm actually going right at the 3-year mark next month. So in a couple weeks.
Not long at all. I mean, that's still, infancy for, compared to some people that have been in it for 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So now with the tinkering with them, did you always have the knack for tinkering with things, or was that something that kind of livened it up?
Yeah, I'm a electrical engineer by trade. I went to school for that, and previously, I was always building, tinkering with stuff, and designing things. So I've always kind of been interested in this hobby without even knowing it.
Oh yeah, and then now that you're in it, now you're just down the rabbit hole every single day with every single project.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's crazy that it hasn't really worn off either. It's been almost 3 years. I'm still going strong. It never happens with hobbies for me. I always dies off after a couple months.
Well, I think that's where just the technology has advanced so quickly. Is that what you're custom making now is not at all the same that you were custom making a year ago or 2 years ago. So I think that it keeps it fresh.
Right.
But now with that tinker and everything, of course, you modified the printers and everything. How far into your journey of 3D printing was it until you built your first custom printer?
My first custom printer was the Simple Core. So that was a Rolohan design. You might know him from the Rook series of printers. Yep. So that was the pre-Rook printer that he made. And I liked it because I wanted to build a printer using a lot of the components I had. So I bought a bunch of eBay printers. I had a lot of stuff even before that. And I ended up completely building it from scratch, getting all new components anyway. It would have been much better off just to get like a Trident kit. I probably spent twice as much on it versus getting like a Trident. So I thought I was saving money. It ended up being a great experience though, because I had to self-source everything and figure out every little step one by one. So that really taught me about each individual component and how to build the printer, how to tweak it.
What did what, how much this makes a difference to this. And now with that, fast forward all the way to today, how many custom printers do you have active and how many have you totally built? And whether you have or not now, if you know.
Wow, too many. That's a great question. At least 10 like completely custom printers, probably more than that. A lot of them were just kind of built and then upgrade over time and then changed out. I built a lot of Rooks in my time. I built the original one and I built all kinds of crazy ones. But active printers, I have my original Voron, the Voron 2.4. That was a collaboration with West 3D LDO. And then I'm working on getting my Trident back up and running with a tube and all kinds of crazy stuff. But for custom printers, I really don't have a lot. The Stealth Changer, Tool Changer, V0, that's right back there. The flashing one, that's more of a decoration.
Or just a paperweight. It works, but it's a paperweight. Just
pretty much only Vorons that I have up and running right now for custom printers. The rest of them either need some stuff or just don't use.
Yep. And then what's for those that haven't watched or tuned in to all the episodes for your stream, what is the one that you're building now?
So I'm currently working on a black box tool changer. This is a crazy kind of Prusa XL style tool changer, but like beefy, like it took steroids. It's yeah, exactly. It is crazy. It has water cooling in it. The whole thing is a beast, and it weighs that much too. So I'm currently getting that up and running.
On the plane to the Rep Rap festivals then?
No, I'm not even. I don't even know if I can bring it to any Rep Rap festival. Like it's very, very big and heavy to move around.
Be anywhere from $8,000 to $1,000 to ship it, probably. You gotta pallet it and freight it.
Yeah.
So now, do you have of course? So you have your new studio. So you moved out of the house into your new studio. Has that opened up a lot more space that now you feel the need to fill up with more printers, or is it kind of you're keeping it? What I would say, minimalized.
No, absolutely not minimal. If I have space, I will fill it, right? So what's been nice about the new studio is I have a lot more space, but I'm able to actually set up and display all my printers instead. I'd have just like a bunch of printers stacked on top of each other, where now I'm able to put them on the shelves to the side of me, and then I have a whole other section behind me for organizing and working on them, and it's just more of a workshop now versus a cramped basement.
Yeah. So do you find it easier now with, of course, especially say the black box being such a big build? Is it so much easier now having all that space and area to work on?
Oh yeah, for sure. Even just the ability to take it and then put it off onto a shelf when I'm not working on it, or being able to spread out on this pretty massive desk I have here. Plus, this desk is crazy strong compared to what I had before.
I think you built that one, right? Like that's not a flexi spot or anything like that.
No, this whole workbench is a 7x4 foot. It was my woodworking bench, so I used to use that for woodworking, plus an outfeed table for my table saw, and I converted it by adding on a couple of butcher blocks, and now it's a nice little 3D printing worktop area. Overkill, but it works.
Hey, the more space, the better. That way, then it's easier to slim down than to grow out, especially once you get everything set up.
Mm-hmm.
So now with that new workshop, was that also where you had the woodworking stuff? And if so, do you still have it in there?
So I had to pretty much move everything out. This whole garage. It's about a bay and a half garage. I essentially moved everything out into storage sheds, and I still have my table saw in here. I have to move that out because it takes up a lot of space. But essentially, I can't really use it as a woodworking shop anymore. I'm gonna maybe try to get another one set up, but for now, pretty much just 3D printing in here.
There you go. So now with, of course, the black box being your main project, is there anything that you're working on now with the events that are coming up, the rep wraps and all that stuff? Is there any other projects that you're working on that you plan on bringing, or are they all kind of secret?
I am working on a not so secret 3D printer design that's probably gonna happen later this year. It is a portal printer. So do you remember the one that Proper Printing did with like the skillet skittle whatever that the skillet printer, the one that had the custom IDEX thing, whatever he did with that? I'm doing a similar style where the actual XY or XZ gantry moves back and forth and the bed stays still. So it's like an Ender 3, but the whole vertical part moves back and forth.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll be doing some. Have you started it, or you're just sourcing the parts right now?
No, I have a couple of parts, like some just some small linear rails for what I'm planning on, just to I can fit that in a frame. Yeah, just a couple of
small linear rails.
Yeah, it's a couple of linear rails for testing.
It's only like 100 millimeters. That's
yeah, at a 0. So it's going to be a pretty interesting project. I'm planning on bringing that to 3D Printopia if I get it done by then.
There you go. So now
that's
you
the main
set your goals.
Printer. I said to my community that I'm going to design a printer this year, like something from scratch that hasn't been done either. Because anyone can build a Core X-Plite printer nowadays and use whatever parts. They're awesome projects, but they're all there's a lot of them. So I want to do something different.
There you go. There you go. At least you're going down the right path. Now with the projects, everything else you got going, of course, you do the streaming and videos. Now that you're in let's say a more organized, larger studio, do you find yourself, and maybe you did this before, of like having a project, whether it be a marker board or what do I want to say, like a planned out project roadmap? There we go. That's what I'm thinking of, roadmap.
Absolutely not. Nope. I do almost no planning. Yeah. All that being said, I am working on my filming setup. I've been working on this for a while now. I'm planning on doing proper filmed and edited videos for my channel. I call them short videos. They're not shorts. They're going to be 10 or 15 minutes long. But that's short because my typical content is 3 to 4 hours long. Yeah. So I'm planning on
just that much of a video in once, no matter who.
Yeah, I'm working on getting that set up for more proper, smaller things. So whether I'm reviewing a a specific thing, like a new material by a company, or maybe a system that I'm developing, like Wacky Stacky, I'll have a space to do that.
Sorry, I'm checking a message because I'm hoping to give an update here soon. We'll get into something here, but so now let's talk about, of course, you've had just a 3-year journey. So again, short journey in the scope of things, but along the way, somewhere you found this company called Polymaker. How did that happen? And then how did not only just finding it, whether it was just you bought the filament or not, but then how'd you get involved with Polymaker and then just build to where you're at now?
It's pretty interesting because I was on the Void Star Labs Discord, and I've been there for a month or two and started to, make friends on there. And one of them just randomly said, "Hey, there's a new Polymaker Discord that just opened up today," and invited me. And then I joined. It turned out it was literally that day that it opened. And going back into the join log, I don't know if this counts for people who have left or not, but I was the 25th person on the Polymaker Discord, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
And previously I had only used a couple of their materials. This is not quite the one, but Polymaker's just PLA Pro Red. And I complained that it was too vibrant to take pictures of because it's so overly saturated.
Oh yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah. So that was like my first experience with Polymaker. Like this film is so nice, I can't even take a picture of it. So yeah, I had PLA Pro. Whatever marketing made me buy that. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome filament, and that's what got me started. Was Polymaker PLA Pro.
So then, so of course, then you joined the Discord, and then I know, of course, eventually you helped build that Discord. Was that something that just kind of through activity rolled out, or did you seek to offer your services, or?
Well, what happened was it was Nick who did everything on there, of course, and
surprise.
Yeah. He just invited the community to give suggestions. He had a whole Discord channel called Suggestions or whatever. And we would say, "Hey, let's get a channel for sharing pictures of pets." And he would just make it. And he wasn't afraid to take risks. He would just do whatever the community said. The community said, "Hey, make this channel or move this or change this." He did it. And I think that says a lot about Polymaker willing to take risks and listen to the community for feedback.
Absolutely,
yeah. I was always active there. I thought it was fun to build up the community, and I gave a lot of feedback, and just being listened to made me want to stay there. So eventually I helped Nick with admin work, getting the actual Discord set up correctly. And for the longest time, I would wake up, log on to the Discord, and read every single message. I would just read every single message on there. It wasn't that many at the time. Yeah, it wasn't that many, but it was, it took me like half an hour or so, go through them all and then respond to the ones that I could. And I was very, very, very active for the longest time. I was the top chatter on the Discord. So I was ranked number one.
I think you're still number one, or no, Nick's number one, I think.
I don't think so. Yeah, probably not anymore.
You're still up there.
I'm probably up there because I spent years building that up. Yeah. So yeah, I ended up doing that first before any of my content creation.
Yeah, so at that point you were just not to downplay, but just as a standard community member, guy printing with their filament and like to be involved. So then, was there anything in the Discord that led you to wanting to stream, or was it more of just like a hey, I see an opportunity?
What really got me into streaming was MakerDeck. So I was streaming my 3D printer there. I thought that was a lot of fun. And eventually I realized how easy it was to live stream. You just hit go live. And then whatever's on your screen just displays to the world. It's very easy. You can just do it. So I experimented with a little setup. I was showing off because I was working on some, custom 3D printer projects. I thought it was fun to just stream that. And yeah, I started off with very, very, very few viewers, 5, 6 was common. And I just kept at it. I was consistent. Every night or every other night, I would just stream. And then eventually it just built up and up and up. And now we're here today.
All the way up to the point that your first partner, which we'll get to that here in a second, and then also you got your own creator spool coming. So for those that don't know what the first partner is, like what is the first partner program?
So Polymaker First Partner is a tier of partnership that I guess the idea is that the first partners were with Polymaker since the beginning, right? For a long, long time, and stuck with them since, and then overall promote their filaments and products with honesty, not just blindly saying, hey, this stuff is amazing, buy this stuff. Being honest, right? Yep. In fact, in the contract, I was talking to Nick when we were kind of going through it, and I wanted some way to use other brands. I want to incorporate other filaments in, like Cookie CAD, Polar, wasn't Polar at the time, but all the other brands that I use and love. I can't just abandon them. So in the contract, there is literally a non-exclusivity agreement that forces me to show off other brands of filament, which is awesome because that really shows that Polymaker stands behind what they do.
Yep, they trust in their product.
Right.
Yep, yeah, that's something I was surprised at. Of course, not being in the program at all, but coming into Polymaker of seeing that, like, oh, there's a non-exclusivity. That's, hey, every first partner, make sure you're using other stuff. You can compare it however you want. Like you said, is honest. Just be honest. We don't need you to, hey, buy this just because. Have a reason behind it. And then now, of course, leading up to your creator spool. Of course, that's coming out, but that's not truly your first creator spool per se. You've been noticed somewhere on a previous spool.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have one around, but West 3D was trying to grow their new Ambrosia line of filaments, and they were taking suggestions. So me being me and loving specific colors, I wanted this color, which is probably not going to show up well on stream, but this is a very split in the middle blue purple. It is a gorgeous color that I've always liked. So I helped design that color, and now it's one of the most popular ones that West 3D sells.
And now, I'm sure. So the next color, of course, your creator spool with Polymaker is Red Galaxy. So I'm sure that's probably also going to go up in the charts because a lot of people have been waiting for a nice red.
I've been waiting for a nice red. Yeah, I've been waiting for a really good red. So that's where this color comes in. This is, again, it's not going to show up well on camera, but this is Polymaker Galaxy Red PLA. It's a red that you guys do not sell in the US. This is exclusive to this color. For comparison, this is wine red, and this is the Galaxy Red, and it's a much darker tone.
Darker, yep.
It's more like standard red, and that's what I was going for, more of like a regular red. But with the same Galaxy that I've come to know and love throughout Galaxy Dark Blue, and the
dark
black
gray now is sharp.
Dark gray, green, just beautiful, beautiful colors.
Okay, which I'm trying to look here. So have you been updated at all? I know, of course, we're waiting for the shipment to arrive out of nowhere any day now.
Right.
But do you know any updates currently or anything that you've been last told of what to expect?
Nope, nothing. I am just patiently waiting.
So there have been some weird delays that we have no idea why, but I checked with Chris. He's one of our e-commerce guys, and it is on it's inbound. We got plenty of units inbound to fulfillment by Amazon currently, but it may be about mid-March, maybe sooner. There's no guarantee on that, but I was hoping to get a little bit better ETA so he would kind of give you that bump. But it is still available for pre-order. So if you haven't gotten it and you want to make sure, hey, I want to make sure before it sells out. Yep, right there. Make sure anybody that goes to us.polymaker.com, did they put it on Canada? I don't know if they did.
I don't believe so. No.
So at least us.polymaker.com is, if you check out with his spool as a pre-order, make sure it's the only thing in the cart. You can order more filament, just make it another order.
Buy 10 spools and make sure it's all the hedgehog
you can buy as many as you want. So you can do 5, 10, 20 of the zombie spools. Just make sure that's the only SKU that is in the cart for that order at least. And then like I said, separate. But
here it is. Yep. Oh, I'll tell you.
So not only did you picking the color, you also amazing. you got a hand in helping design, or at least approving the design for the spool?
Yeah. So I was working with Pezliz to kind of help brainstorm what I wanted based off of what the other creator spools looked like, and kind of what my theme was. And we ended up with this. So, um, the mountains are AI generated. I specifically wanted that type of theme, but I went through and heavily edited it myself, and I made the sun just by doing a circular pattern and then doing a gradient and then cutting it out. So I made that. Yep.
There you go.
And then someone on your team, I forget who, they incorporated
Oriana?
the hedgehog. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
That was put like that on the side, and it's a really, really cool style, and I just love how it came out.
No,
With
the
red,
colors
like,
look great, and
looks
just the
beautiful.
design itself, and of course the filament. The filament looks great too. So I'm sure many people are ready to. Yeah, and K2 Kevin calling you out. He edited it.
Edited it.
A hard word to say. Leave him alone. But
can
so
do
we're
it
getting close to
now.
the end here. So since I'm looking at chat, if anybody in chat has any questions for Austin here, be sure to ask, and we'll get some community questions in here before we hit him for some rapid fires and let him go. And I want to say thank you again for coming on the show. I know coming from being under the weather, been there, done that. Sitting in front of a camera and talking to people, it's not always the most fun thing to do when you're feeling sick, but appreciate it.
Hey, I've been waiting to come on this show for a while now. Usually I'm out shopping.
15
This is
weeks.
like my shopping hour.
That was always
It's
the thing
like
in the
every
beginning.
week,
I never
every
asked.
week.
Yeah. So it's like
The only time I
7
leave the
o'clock is my
house.
groceries.
Yeah, only time every week I leave the house, he has to do a live stream. Like, really? So I usually try to sometimes I'm at the store, I have my headphones on, I'm listening in. And I was like, what are you watching Twitch for? Like, I want to listen in.
Time. Yeah, if I have any of you guys, whether you, Liz, Big Jano, anything, pulled up on my phone, and I usually have these things in, so it's not super loud to anybody else. But they're like, "You seriously? Are you watching? Why are you watching that while you're walking around Walmart? Because it's walking around Walmart. It's boring. At least I'm
Right.
actually listening to something here. But let's see. I think Off Axis asked a question. What was your first printer? Oh, it scrolled, and now my wire's in the way. First printer that you got that got you addicted to being a maker or print that was like, I need to do this. I think the clearance deal is what got you hooked.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. Like, I wasn't even expecting to really do much with it. In fact, every single plan that I got into, I haven't done yet. I wanted to make some smart home little like cases and stuff. Like, that was the first thing I wanted to do. And then I still haven't done this. Actually, my first spool of Polymaker was white ASA. White
Beautiful
ASA.
color.
Right, because I wanted to print something for my house, a little bracket for a light. So yeah, I got that, and I've never printed with it. Like that specific spool, I've like never printed with it. I didn't have the setup for it at the time. Oh man, maybe one day I'll complete that project.
That's when we start adding like way too many projects to our list, and we never finish them.
Right.
Or we start
Right,
them and
far
never
more
finish them.
exciting things like Flexi Rexes and other little things.
The crazy, silly stuff. Let's see here. Buddha 3D asks, what's your favorite thing from Taco Bell?
Ooh, Taco Bell. I forget what they call them, but whatever like the grilled cheese burrito things are, like those are good.
Yeah, the grilled stuffed burritos or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Yep,
so
I
good.
get behind that. Throw on some
Pretty much
spicy
anything from
ranch.
Taco Bell, honestly. Yeah.
I'm with you there. I know people knock it all the time, but I enjoy Taco Bell.
Oh, I love Taco Bell.
Let's see here. Beware asks, what is your favorite ice cream? Everybody's on a food
Ice
kick.
cream. Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one. Probably the basic whatever the tri-color
The
Neapolitan.
Yep.
Yeah, Neapolitan.
Yeah, you get 3 things, so that way you can just kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, just basic ice cream. Yep.
Now, what kind of person are you? Are you the type that scoops each flavor separately, or do you scoop across?
Right down the middle. Right down the middle, all 3. Yep.
Some people will call you an animal, but hey, I'm like that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Layer by Layer asks, if you could be one animal, what would it be and why? And you can't pick a hedgehog.
Be an animal? Actually be an animal?
Yeah.
Oh man. Probably like some type of dog, like medium-sized dog. It seems like the most fun animal people have.
And then
as
why,
pets.
I guess. Why would you want to be a
Why?
medium-sized dog?
You get
Easy
treated
life.
like a yeah, you get treated like a king.
There you go. Inquiring minds want to know, as saying Goshen, Indiana is a few months away. Will you be bringing any spools of Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA with you?
Definitely. I don't know the logistics of this stuff, but yeah, I'll definitely have spools at all the events for sure.
Well, we should have some left. But let's see here.
Yeah,
Tony Wright
it's
asks,
just left.
why hedgehogs? What have you got against beavers?
Beavers. All they do is like destroy the forest.
That's true. Building
Right?
dams, blocking the water flow.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Star Rose 3, what is your favorite thing to cook on your printers? With food again.
During one of my streams, I reheated some Taco Bell on there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and it
With
works
some
like,
pepper
surprisingly
hot sauce.
well. Yeah, too good, too good.
Let's see. Grenier asks, what is your least favorite colors?
My least favorite color, some type of like dark black that's also like kind of green, like that kind of color. I don't know, like a really
Okay.
dark color that's not quite black, but it's not quite gray either. So like a tone shifted black.
Okay, there you go. And then let's see here. Tech Jeeper, what is your favorite hot sauce?
My favorite hot sauce, West 3 Delicious. It's a good one.
There we go.
By Tex Peppers.
Benny Pombo, how many printers are still to be finished? So yeah, how many work in progresses?
They're all works in progress.
Yeah,
Even the working ones are works in progress.
every single last one of them.
I never finish them. I just build them and then I get it working and it's off the next project. Honestly,
There you go. That's it, Tech Jeeper. What's your favorite filament clip and why isn't it the K2 Kevin clip?
ooh, do I have one around here? My favorite filament clip is the screwed up filament clip that I developed. So it's a cool little dual slot screw in design, and it works really good. It's a really good design, holds the whole thing tight. I love
Unlike
it.
that K2 clip.
Yeah, the K2 clip, they work. They work pretty good, but this one's cool because it's 3 parts and it takes far much more filament, which means it's a better design. And it has a fidget application too. When you're not using it, you can fidget with it.
There you go. Oh, look at that. A dual device. Let's see here. Do pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely.
There we go. And do you know how many printers that you've had over the years? Can you count them all?
Probably about over 30 at this point. I cannot count them all. Probably could if I thought about it, but
There you go. Let's see here. Before we're hit with more food questions, we'll hit you with some rapid fire, some of the
right.
known normal questions with a couple extra. First off, this might be an easy one now. What is your favorite filament?
my favorite filament.
Color or surface effect? It can be any
ooh.
brand, of course.
I had to think about this one because obviously I have the answer. It's my own spool of filament.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like all of the PLA Pros, and one of my go-to colors for just testing is PLA Pro Green. Out of all things, it's a really nice green. It prints really good, so I just I really like that color, PLA Pro Green.
There you go. And then next up, what is your print that you're most proud of?
I brought a couple out here because I couldn't really decide, but the Hex ukulele, which is missing a string because it broke, but this was one of the coolest projects that I worked on because I made a functional ukulele that actually sounded pretty good at the time. This is made out of Polymaker Galaxy purple, teal, and dark gray, and it sounds really good. I got it signed by Mikolas from Prussia, so that was a cool one. And then working on the Death Racers, those have always been kind of a amazing thing to build because this is all 3D printed, right? This one specifically never got to race, but K2 Kevin designed the cool little bludger.
Little torch, yeah.
Yeah, this is a Maker Viking Hedgehog redone. And then the Polymaker side plates because I'm not original.
So now is it ever planned to make that into a fight, or is it going to be just your showpiece?
Nope, never. In fact, I removed the gears and the motors, so it's free
Okay, so
spinning.
it's-
Just a
so you can
toy.
kind of push it along. There you go.
Yeah.
Something for the kid to play with.
I will actually be going to offset because they're like
Yes,
half an hour
soon.
for me. Yeah, very soon. So we're gonna build a custom death racer. I should probably start, thinking about printing that.
Yeah, it's the I call it the Polymaker way, is we like to wait till the last second, and then but we'll get it done. In the end, it's always going to get done.
It'll get done. It'll be awesome. Yep.
So, of course, with building all the printers that you've built, what one has been your favorite build to date? Not necessarily favorite printer, using printer, just the favorite build that hey, that was the most fun I had.
Oh man, I have built so many fun printers. I'd have to say the original Simple Core. It was a 330 printer, and that thing had taught me a lot about 3D printing, and it evolved heavily over the course of time. And that's where the whole bed drop meme, it hasn't been talked about in a while, but the whole entire, it's like Trident style bed, but it was belted Z, driven directly off of the motor. So the second the power lost, the whole bed just fell to the bottom.
K2 Plus.
Yeah, kind of like that, but like 10 times worse. And it was
but fast.
That was crazy. If you had a print failure, a power failure, it just smashed, and that was very interesting.
There was no recovery.
No.
Hey, and then next up, who is Dolly Parton?
She is some singer from ye old times that used to give out a lot of books. I think she still does.
She still does. I received books from her.
I think she has a theme park or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Dollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who I got that information from.
I don't know.
You would never guess. Okay, and last but not least, and I'll let you have your 30 seconds of the stage to pitch whatever you want to pitch. But if someone was looking to go watch some videos or live streams of various 3D printing projects and things and events, you have anybody that you'd recommend? That maybe has a show on Mondays and has random streams throughout the week?
I would have to say myself. Is that a trick question?
Yeah. I always try to lead up, but some people don't want to shout themselves out. So the lead up is like, I don't know if he's wanting me to say me or if he's actually asking me who I think they should go watch.
I'm hoping actually that more people start to do what I do and start building things and showing them off on stream. I know that Killer Prince has started off doing some streams on YouTube. Luke Digital Dragon has been amazing at doing live streams. So people like that, people who build printers and explain what they're doing on stream, I love that. I really do.
Yeah, because it all what you guys are doing is like you said, is you're making it as simple as you can with still being technical with it and explaining things, and that inspires people to maybe I was thinking about building a printer, but it's like but then I watched you do it, and hey,
it's a lot of work.
Or the different projects. You've done some really cool printed stuff, like the big cars, the I don't know, the Tonka looking thing. I don't even remember what it was called. I think it was I don't know if it was a 360 sets or whatever. You got a couple cool big things.
The 3D sets, this thing.
Yeah, so you had the
it
was a ESA on that, and then you had the yellow Earth Mover maybe, or I can't remember what it was. I just remember it was big and yellow just recently within the last few weeks.
This one or something different.
You had a longer one. I remember it was on the back of the peg wall.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, this thing.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't even see it back there. Your screen on my screen is small.
Yeah,
like
that.
That's
smaller.
just.
This is a Ravana something. This was a lot to put together, all glued, so many parts. But this is all printed in Polymaker metallic, so all the metallics. Very cool little project. It looks awesome.
Oh, like I said, when you do things like that and people see other people just doing it rather than just a finished picture of something, it inspires them. And like I said, especially the way that you approach it and your personality and just the way that you're gentle about things, I think attracts more. And that's why you're continuing to grow your channel and build a following and everything else. So no, I wish you the best of luck there, but I'll give you the stage there if you want to announce socials, where people can find you, when you stream, etc. The stage is yours.
All right. Well, first of all, I am pushing for partner on Twitch. So that is a status that you get after many years of streaming. You can apply for once you built up a community. So if you are not following me on Twitch, you should. But now is more important than ever to stay tuned and watch the streams, as well as my YouTube channel. I do have a growing amount of content on there. It's typically build logs of printers, unboxings, stuff like that. So the more important stuff that I do on my stream, I focus and do a recorded session and post it onto YouTube. I plan on doing more stuff there in the following year. Catch me on Twitter, posting random stuff, random questions, and hot topics as always. But yeah, Twitch is mainly my platform. So
and always working on stuff, and you're gonna be at all the rep wraps. Is it the idea to be at all rep wraps this year? So whoever
that's
make
the
it
goal.
Up, see you.
The main three. I'm going to Rocky Mountain, and I'm going to plan on doing Murph and 3D Printopia, and maybe something else if it comes up. I don't have plans yet.
Never know. Like I said, yeah. If you're like me, a lot of it's last minute planning. Probably not so much this year since it's actually now part of my job. But normally everything is last minute planning. But no, I look forward to seeing you at Rocky Mountain here soon-ish. Oh no, May. Yeah, that's the first one coming up, right?
It's too soon. Way too soon.
Yeah, it's gonna catch up
like,
real quick.
Planning needs to start like now. So
yeah,
I'm planning on doing a cool, unique booth layout this year. It's gonna be fun. I also want to shout out my own Discord, discord.hedgehogmakes.com. Join that, and I'm almost at 700 members, which is kind of insane for a small little community that I've developed. So I'm very happy about that.
It'll steamroll and continue, and you help grow the Discord and Polymaker. I took over a good amount of members already, so you set the path there, and all I had to do was just keep doing stuff with it and not scare too many people away. So I appreciate the help there, and like I said, we'll see you around, and we'll see you at the Rep Rap Festival in Colorado here soonish. And right now, the latest update, and this isn't a guaranteed, we should start receiving inventory of Hedgehogs, Zombie Hedgehogs Creator Spool anywhere from February 27th to March 13th. Ideally.
All right, that's pretty good.
As long as there's no other weird delays, we can't control everything, but it's nothing that has been in our hands. We've been waiting for it to come just as much as you.
It is going to be worth the wait. I'll tell you that. You're going to love it. Yeah. I've been printing nonstop. Fixum Dude, even I commissioned him to make a custom ZH1 Galactic Voyager. So we're calling this thing.
The Z-Hog 1.
Z-Hog 1. Yep, that's the one. So that's
awesome. Like I said, and those that haven't gotten it, make sure to pre-order it. That way you can guarantee you get that first wave that's coming in, because I think they're going to, depending on how the shipments work, they might be coming, few days apart or a week or so apart. So
get
them while they're hot. Well, thank you again, Austin, for coming on the show, and I will definitely see you around, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thank you very much.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Got a signature goodbye in there. Perfect. Perfect way to end it. So there we go. 51 episodes down. I was happy to have Zombie. I was hoping to have him on the first 12 months. So we finally got him on here. We pulled him away from his groceries. So now he's not going to be able to eat tonight. So I do apologize. But again, huge thanks to him. I know I said he was just getting out from feeling under the weather. It still made it a point to come on the show. So thank you again, Zombie. Can't wait to see where you go this year and all the builds that you have and the crazy stuff. And then can't wait to get your filament in my hands also. I haven't even got a spool yet. So get yours while it's hot. It's available now. But for those that haven't not yet, we do have a giveaway we're doing. Make sure to type in I am awesome down there in the old chat box. And we'll be doing a drawing here in just a moment after I talk about some projects that we have ongoing. We still have Polymaker figurines. It is on version 2 this year, and he's pumping through those. That is Entourage Dimensions. And one day I will memorize the actual second part. I say it every week, but I don't do anything about it. So, but that is Polymaker figurines across the board, the Instagram, the TikTok, the YouTube. And he, every 2 to 3 days, he releases a new video showcasing a new multicolor Pokemon going down the list of V2, I think 100 of them. And as he releases those videos, the files become available for download on Maker World for free to download in multicolor or however you please. So be sure to follow him if you are not already. Even if you're not a Pokemon fan, they're great prints. I printed some miniatures for some events last year, and I kept a set for each one, even though I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. They look great. But we also have then Polymaker Education. That is ran by Create6 Brit, which I pronounce properly because it's English. But she is doing the same, where whenever she releases a video of an educational print, whether it shows something about a biome, doctor kits, there's other stuff coming, help with motor function, food safety, etc. Those prints that she showcases, and you learn a little bit more about whatever the item is, then becomes available on Maker World. Also, Polymaker Education's account for free to download to use as you please for your own education. I always say, daycares, babysitters, churches, etc. There's a lot of tools. Maybe you won't use all of them, but there's something for everybody there. Go check them out. Print something, whether for fun or for teaching somebody. There's plenty of things to be had. And then we also have our Printing Color Show hosted by Pezliz. And that is Pezliz, or I always say this wrong, twitch.tv/Pezliz. I'm a pro, guys. Okay. I've only been doing it for 51 weeks. And she does that every Wednesday where she showcases something, different, whether it be a color or filament type. This previous episode was our Poly Smooth. A lot of people don't understand what exactly it is, and kind of helping people along of what are the use cases for this filament and what are some good ways of showcasing it, whether it be a color or a type of material. Always good stuff. So make sure to follow her over on twitch.tv/Pezliz. And then last but not least, we have Polymaker Lab. That is a new TikTok. It somehow has on YouTube. We did not create the YouTube channel. I'm not sure who's re-uploading over there, but TikTok, and that is led by Sean, our head of our market and user research. He's got a title. He does a lot of stuff, and he's a very smart guy. He knows his 3D printing stuff. He actually wrote a book, but now he is our Polymaker Lab scientist, and he is telling people different ways to troubleshoot, ways to get shinier prints, matte prints, etc. A lot of just fun educational videos that are short form, so they're easy to digest, but also easy to learn from. So make sure to go follow him on TikTok. It's already growing quite a bit. He's getting good views and growth. If you haven't yet, check him out. He's fun to watch. There's a meme that I need to share out there. That's the things, or the more you know. He's the more you know, and it's a rainbow. It's perfect. But I'll share that with you guys soon. But with that said, we're gonna get to a giveaway. So we are at 104 entries. So before we draw, I give everybody one last chance to enter. I am awesome. Make sure to type that into the chat. While I do, eventually there's going to be a way I can streamline this. Any recommendations? It was ideal. Doesn't always have to be 3D printing, but just maker related. And you know what? Actually, I know. Oh, modeling. Okay, perfect. I know who we're going to do. We are going to. I got to switch back to Twitch. We got to type in "I am awesome." I am awesome. I am awesome. Not me, but you. But type it as "I am." We'll get that drawing done soon. And before we do the drawing, we have episode 52. So I have a special guest coming on. I usually don't announce it, but I'm going to announce it just so you guys know. It's fun. I figure to bring it all back to the beginning of how this all started, getting me involved in what I'm doing now, and giving me this opportunity is none other than Nick. Polymaker Nicholas is going to be the guest on the show. So be prepared for probably a 3 or 4 hour show, because when me and him get together, I gab. I have the gift of gab anyway. But when me and him get together, we have to honestly make an extra half hour for our meetings, just because we talk and talk and talk. So Nick is going to be the guest. I figure what better way to celebrate, 12 months of consecutive. I made the commitment to him before I was even on board officially as a Polymaker employee, and I stuck to it. He's going to be on here. We're going to have some fun, learn a little bit more about Nick, maybe kind of what he does. You guys get your community questions ready, because I'll try to start those early, because I'm sure you guys have a ton of them. But with that said, we're going to rate out to Cyber Jules, Joules, like the power rating, I think it is. Something with power strips. It's always the insurance thing on those. But we're going to rate out to her. It is intended for mature audiences, so maybe the language could be a little bit thing, but she's doing some modeling, more donut modeling in Blender. So if you're thinking about getting into modeling, that might be the thing to be watching right now. She's very awesome. I haven't got a chance to talk to her a whole lot, but she's coming into the Hangout on Discord. Very, very nice person. Fun to talk with on the short times I've had. So make sure to show her support. Give her love of Polymaker. But we're going to draw. Might want to run your giveaway. Yeah, I know. I started it now, but I watched the timer now. But thank you, K2. And we're here every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. So tune in. And on Tuesdays, Tracksman 25. Look at that. One of our Discord regulars. If you want to spoil a filament, you know how to claim it. So I'll hear him do my rant. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your support all the way up to 51 weeks, going on to 52. We are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Also now kind of doing a community involvement stream on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So come hang out with us, share some feedback, give some inputs, etc. But with that said, keep your nozzles clean, keep your beds leveled, and keep the filament flowing. Until then, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.